Well, New South Wales Premier Dominic Perrottet will go head-to-head with New South Wales Labor leader Chris Minns in the Sky News and Daily Telegraph People's Forum tonight, debating the big issues ahead of the election on Saturday. The leaders will give their final pitch to 100 undecided voters tonight, 7:30 p.m. Sky News Chief Anchor Kieran Gilbert will host the forum and he joins us live. Kieran, great to see you. Now, cost of living is the biggest issue facing Australians at the moment. The same is true, of course, in New South Wales. Do you think this is likely to feature heavily tonight in the questions from undecided voters?
Absolutely, Sherry. G'day to you and lovely to join you from the Penrith Panthers, where the 100 undecided voters will gather. And I think from this audience, Sherry, you're right, that will be a big issue. It's the one biting everywhere, and from the foot of the mountains, if you work in the city or you've got to commute, those toll questions are a big part of the story. And everyone, as you've already alluded to, across this state is feeling the pinch. So you add to that the travel costs and so on. You've seen Chris Minns raise it a lot, that toll cap that he's put in place. His people think that it's worked for him. But while we don't know what the undecided voters are going to come up with, I would be very surprised if we don't get something along those lines. The other question I would think is on health. Now, I know you, the last 48 hours, have been reporting at length on this, including your fascinating interview with the Premier Dominic Perrottet, and I wouldn't be surprised if that comes up at some point as well. The whole question about people, 1 in 10, having to wait more than an hour for an ambulance. The fact that with his wife being taken to hospital in an ambulance mid-February and the situation around that. I know he's been asked about it today. I wouldn't be surprised at some stage if the broader issue of health, if not that one specifically, comes up here at the Panthers Club, Sherry.
Yeah, that issue did dominate his press conference today, and you're right, there might be some questions about, from people who have had to wait a long time either to get through an emergency department at the hospital or for an ambulance to turn up. The other big issue in New South Wales is blackouts, looming blackouts. The energy market operator has warned of electricity supply issues, reliability issues. We know also that there might be a shortfall of gas supply. Again, this is one area. Chris Minns has said he'll do whatever it takes to keep the lights on. He's even left on the table repeatedly the option of buying back or keeping running the state's largest coal-fired power station. The Premier hasn't done that. These are very different approaches to energy policy.
Yeah, they sure are. And you've got that question about the other big figure in this government in New South Wales, that being Mr Kean and his influence on the coalition's policy, whether it be energy policy or whatever else. But energy's the core issue, given he's energy minister as well as treasurer, that he's had a big influence on over the last few years in this Perrottet government. And so, yes, that I think is a big one. But the politics of that individual as well, as Kean's tried to shore up the vote in those teal seats, really going hard on renewables and those sorts of issues. But it looks like it might have blown up for the government. If you look at his net negative approval rating or disapproval rating in places like Leppington, Goulbourn, even Hornsby, he's 16% swing against him there. So it looks like the Kean effect might not be a great one for Perrottet.
No, exactly. And that was a fascinating story broken by Andrew Clennell yesterday. Kieran, the leaders do get along well. Do you think this debate is going to be more civil than others you've adjudicated at a federal level?
It might be. I think, though, that if you're Perrottet, if I was advising him tonight, I'd be trying to shake things up. It looks like things are very difficult for him ahead of Saturday. I think he needs to try and shift the focus, try and grab a bit of momentum. So maybe the friendliness might have to be reined in, and he's got to take on the Labor leader because they are playing for the top job in this state. I think he's behind right now, Perrottet. He's the one that's got to make up some ground here tonight at the Sky News Daily Telegraph People's Forum, just 2 hours away, and very much excited about this one tonight because this race, Sherry, is closer than a lot of the recent elections that we've covered.
Yeah, that's what we're hearing. Kieran Gilbert, good luck hosting that debate tonight at 7:30. We'll all be watching, and let's hope neither leader leaves anything on the table.